I hope everybody is staying safe out there in the markets. Welcome back to the Reverend Trades channel. I am just wanting to get into some new things here that I've been developing today. Look at some strategies, see how they've been holding up. Look at short strategies. Kind of just, I just realized we needed a little bit more balance, even in the Discord. There's lots of long strategies. Myself and many other people going long, and we are getting to the period of the market where I do think that some short strategies would be helpful. I mentioned it on the last stream I did that I was scaling into some short strategies, and that was back up here before this major dump off happened. Now, the thing about short strategies and the way that the bumper bands trades is they are a scalping strategy, and so it generally they don't take advantage of big dump offs or big run ups. Every once in a while, they might catch a big move, but that's the rarity. So that's not what they're for. But it is very helpful if there's a market that's trending, starting to trend more bearish, or even kind of ranging. It is a little bit more balancing, I think, to have some short strategies. And I've been using some AI tools to develop some new parts of the bumper bands just to kind of level up the already just great power that the bumper bands had. So I'll get into that a little bit. I'm not going to go into the full explanation of it today, but in the next few months, I will be releasing the series of bumper bands called Bumper Bands AI, and they still will work just as well with all the strategies that have been going on, but they will be really really great to build with, so much easier to build with, smarter in a sense. Yeah, they just have some great technology used to build them and design them. So I've been hard at work over the last months getting them ready to go. So you can see this is a 1 hour on the chart here. It's on a 30-minute chart though, but I can basically change this chart to any hour. So this is a bumper band 1 hour, and it's short. It's more designed for short strategies, but it's on any time frame it works really great. I'll show you some strategies I've made with it in a moment. First of all, I want to look at some long strategies, just a couple, see how they're holding up. Starting off with a 10-minute Bitcoin, and so this one is experiencing some major, obviously, downside. The year so far is -7. We have experienced months in the past, May, June, and July, that we had 3 red months in a row, and it was down plenty. But yeah, it's just painful. I am running this strategy, and I'm letting it go because I started it, way back over here. Still quite a bit in the green on it, but it has taken some massive, massive hits, and I did actually scale in a little bit more over here, so I'm not as in the green as I could have been. And that's just part of scaling in, and I now think I should have had a little bit more patience, but I made the best choice I could at the time, and that is what it is. So for those out there who are feeling the burn of the market, I'm in it with you. This is the 30-minute Bitcoin strategy. Now, actually, it's done pretty well. You can see it only took a loss way back here when Bitcoin was at 85K, and then it missed all of this, nasty dump over here, and then actually caught a winning trade to the upside. So there are some upsides to leaving strategies trading when even when the market is bearish. Like, this strategy has tested to do decently well during bearish periods of the market, but every new season in the market is different than the times before. So there's no guarantee that it's going to do just as well as has done in the past. Part of the bumper bands AI that I'm going to be releasing is it will be very easy to tweak strategies and keep them updated a little bit faster. Obviously, it's still a TradingView tool, so it still has to be built on TradingView, and so it's there's still user upkeep that you're going to have to do if you want to stay on top of the markets, or I will be doing that here and there as well. But yeah, they're just going to be really, really powerful for keeping strategies current. However, I don't think the strategy is getting outdated or going bad or anything like that. I mean, this is the worst month that we've seen since 2022. I could probably go back and back test further, and I'm sure there will be just as bad periods of the market where it's down -2%, which actually, it's probably going to be different if I just look at the month of February here. Let's do that real fast. Because obviously these numbers here are a little bit of a tool. Yeah, see, it's actually not as bad. The month of February is not nearly as bad as this shows. But because the strategy has done super well up to this point, it's one of the bigger losses. So let's see. What was I saying? Yeah, yeah. So Bitcoin, you can see, is taking a huge jump off here. While the month of February on this strategy, if you start at the beginning of February, it's still barely down. 0.33%, not bad at all. I'm wondering if this caught. Sometimes it catches a trade at the end of January or something, which is why that this is part of the reason why the numbers can look a little different here. I don't know. The other reason that numbers look different is because this is not analyzing the specific profit encapsulated in that month. It's actually comparing it to the initial capital in your account, and it actually does not make full sense why that's saying negative 2.3. So yeah, that's just part of the inconsistency I found just in this profit and loss table. Um, I'm gonna look into that more because that's still it's a little bit unnerving that it says quite. I've seen it be a little bit different, but I've never seen it be that massively different. So who knows? All right, I'm gonna keep moving on here. We'll come back. The 4-hour strategy is another strategy I have been trading. I started it actually really recently and have been in the red with it. I think I caught this. I only traded it since mid-February. So I got one win and then this pretty big loss here. But we're about to see a pretty massive win here on the 4-hour strategy. So when the volatility is a little bit higher in the market, some higher term time frame strategies tend to do better until the volatility gets really gnarly and it does real bad around like peaks. If I put this on, you can see trade 794 and 862 were the peaks back there. Now let's look at 862. Somewhere around here. So it kind of, I guess it did decently at first, and then it had a pretty big pullback towards the end of the bear market, 790. And this one kind of did the same thing. That's actually interesting. So this strategy tends to not get hit as bad in the first major dump offs of the bear market, but then towards the end of it, both times, or not, I guess not bear market, but peaks. You can see the peak back here. Is where it really, let's see, I wonder if the same thing happened here. We're going to trade 438. Yeah, that does the exact same thing here. Trade 438 is right there, so it still had some upside before it caught some negative trades. So that actually could be something to keep in mind if you are trading the strategy. The Sol 15-minute strategy, this has been trading in the 10K account that I've been kind of publicly trading, and it's just gotten massively hit. I mean, it's up. I started trading it back in October of 24, basically October 1st of 24. And so it's massively up from then. However, it just gave away all the gains that it made in January. January was a killer month where it was up 10%, and February it's down 11%. So the strategy is only up 9% since October, and that's mainly due to February. It was up, would have been almost 20%, and at leverage, I was using like three leverage on it. So that would have been a really nice. It was really nice. There have been a few other strategies trading in the account, and I lessened the size of this specific Sol strategy, and as I added XRP and some other strategies. So the account actually is not as bad as this looks, but it definitely did take some major pullbacks. And the account is, I think it was up 50% at the highs, and now it's only up 25% from the highs. So that's just part of it. And for people who've been trading more recently and didn't start way back, in October with big position sizes, you're definitely feeling the pain a little bit more. But all right, there's a bunch of other strategies. Some of them have been doing okay. Some of them have been getting hit really hard, especially altcoins. Sol strategies, 30-minute has been getting hit a lot harder. Bitcoin strategies have tended to do okay. But let's go back here and look at some short strategies. I told you I was kind of looking at scaling in to some short strategies. So there's a Solana short strategy. This one took actually it's kind of opposite, right? So it takes some one win here. It doesn't catch obviously any of that because it's not designed to catch any of these unless it bounces high enough to get above the bands, and also have the other like the BBWP in the right place. It's not going to take trades unfortunately on this massive dump off. It's going to wait kind of until things start leveling out, and then it'll take some trades. So took one win here, and then actually took a bigger loss right there. So I do find that after big dump offs, short strategies tend to do a little bit worse, just as after big run ups, long strategies tend to do a little bit worse. Now we'll see about this. Just entered another short right here at 147.7, and it's looking like if it gets down to 144.5 or somewhere around there, it could be a winning trade. Who knows? But it is just something that I've been trading a sole short strategy for a long time. All right, let's look at XRP. So this short strategy is one that I have just started to slowly scale into. Same kind of thing. Took a actually decent size win there. It doesn't look like much, but XRP obviously is an altcoin. So even those small moves are 1.45, 1.44%. But then it took a much bigger loss, kind of the same thing as the last strategy. Lost almost 5%. So that's just part of trading these short strategies, especially. It's a lot of small wins and some bigger losses. And you can see the profit factor is 61%, or the profit factor is 1.2, but 61% of the trades are profitable. So, it's an okay profit factor. I'm probably going to use the Buffer Band's 1 hour AI on this and kind of revamp it with those. The same with all of these altcoin strategies, and I'll get to that in a minute. I've actually used it on a couple short strategies here recently. The ADA short strategy, kind of same exact thing. It's actually taken more losses since the dump off than wins, but over the last few months has been really profitable. I'm going to wait to scale into this until I think we'll have a little bit higher of a bounce here sometime soon. And so generally after you see a strategy have a big run up like this, there's at some point going to be some pretty big fall offs. You see every time here. I mean, this was, for what it's worth, a pretty long run up, but then there's a massive dump offs, another long run up, massive dump offs. So this is kind of what I'm looking for when I start to scale in. I'm looking for some kind of these big dump off moves right here. I expect that to happen again at some point. That's when I find it more safe to scale into short strategies or long strategies, except for you're obviously going long. This is the Buffer Band's 30-minute. Okay, yeah. So this is a 30-minute. I have not been trading this, and this one just took a massive loss. So that's let's see what this is. Yeah, 12%. Not something that you want to be trading. It doesn't have a max stop loss setting apparently. Like the max risk. It's just by the ER risk, and so that's going to be some much riskier. Obviously, the wins are bigger. Like you can see here, there's a 2.68 win. Here's probably no, that's a real small one, but there's decent amount of wins to losses, 67% profitable trades, and 1.4 profit factor. But these are very real drawdowns. You can see the drawdown is 23%, and I bet it's even worse if you look at that's actually a pretty big one. I bet these are actually that's about right. So if you're trading at 3x leverage, 4x leverage, that's your count could be down to 0. So it's maybe not the wisest to be trading this without better risk management, but it's on the Discord for people that want to have some riskier plays. Also, I would just recommend using your own risk management on it. All right, lastly, let's look at the Buffer Band's AI. So here's a short strategy I just recently developed with the Buffer Band's AI, and you can see since 2013, just a really great slow and steady rise over. It's actually kind of interesting to see that it's steadied out since trade 1,200, which I don't know exactly where that is, but that's going to be in the last 4 or 5 years. I mean, even here on the profit table, you can see since 2022, it's been a lot more minimal wins. The really big wins were in 2020 and 2021. Um, Bitcoin was a lot more volatile around then, and this obviously just took better advantage. But it's still, for a short strategy, really great. And I know it says max equity drawdown of 29%, but that's really due to this craziness over here in 2013. If you look at more recent history, the drawdown is way more reasonable at about 10%, which again, not bad at all for a short strategy. It is really rocky. I mean, short strategies are, if you're going to have a high number of trades, I've not been able to get as smooth of equity curve, especially when you're trading a very bullish, asset like Bitcoin or even alts that tend to have massive just blow off top runoffs to the upside. It's really hard to get a smoother equity curve, and the profit factor is going to be a little bit lower. However, I did using the Bumper Bands AI and some other moving averages. I really got one that was a much smoother equity curve. However, not quite as high of profit, total profit, and the profit factor is, however, a lot bigger, a lot less trades, decent percentage of profitable trades. But if you look at the more recent history, again, pretty reasonable max drawdown, not pretty bad or not too bad, and it is a little bit more consistent in the gains. Obviously, made some real massive gains here, which throw the strategy off a little bit because whenever I see a strategy take a massive run up like that, it's not realistic that you are going to see that very often. Most of the time, you're going to see these slow and steady gains, some losses, slow and steady gains, some losses. However, recently, this has been doing really well. I've been watching the strategy for just a little while, making sure it's tradable, and it seems like it's going really well. So again, these built with the Bumper Bands AI tool. So yeah, I'm gonna look at a couple others. This one didn't load. I wonder if this one loaded. Okay, so this is the Bumper Bands AI on Dogecoin. It is a 1 hour chart, and it doesn't have any more history than this. So this is all we got to go with. It's in a losing trade right now, but over the last couple months, been really crushing it, and generally over time has done pretty well. Decent drawdown for an altcoin. Has some major drawdown here though, so something that I would expect if I was trading this to see. And I won't start trading a strategy like this until I see some drawdown happen again like that, just to be on the safer side. Here we go. Yeah, so this is the Sol 10-minute short strategy. And here's where we start getting some way better equity curves. This is, again, built with the Bumper Bands AI. And just some really nice slow and steady gains, decent profit factor, incredible drawdown. So this is one that I'm going to be watching very closely. And, once I think Sol has had a big bounce back, I probably will start trading this as well as release this to the Discord soon. Again, just kind of want to put the final touches on these Bumper Bands AI. And so yeah, on that note, for people that have gotten this far in the video, I'll make another announcement soon, but I am going to change some of the tier pricing for the Bumper Bands just because of the new indicators I'm releasing and the time that it's taken to make them. And I think they're very powerful. People that are already locked into their subscription price will be good. I'm not going to raise the price on you, but for new members that join, or for members that up their tier later, it's going to be a higher price. And I'm just reworking that a little bit to just make it worth all the work and effort that I'm putting into this. So I'm going to be around the Discord. Let me know if you have any questions. But again, stay safe in these markets out there. I do think we're going to have a decent bounce back, but I'm not as much of a TA kind of guy. I'm more of a strategy builder, so take that with a grain of salt. And like I said, stay safe. I'll see you guys in the next one.